We're talking actors and directors who put on the shows.
We're talking playwrights and designers who you'll want to know.
From the very first rehearsal to the final curtain call.
We might be off Broadway, but we're talking about it all.
'Cause we're two local gals
with global pals. It's everything, everything, everything theater.
with Benita
And Ellen. Hello, listeners. We wanted to let you know that this episode is sponsored by Schenectady Light Opera Company, more commonly known as SLOC. They have a production of Pippin. Let me tell you a little bit about it. SLOC Musical Theater has magic to do this May with their production of Pippin. Running May 9th through the 18th, this classic show is packed with an exciting score, powerful storytelling, and a little magic for everyone. All about a young man searching for purpose and adventure. It'll leave audiences reconnecting with their inner child and yearning for the extraordinary. Grab your tickets now at slocktheater.org and come see why Pippin at Slock is a night you won't forget. And now, on with the show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Everything Theater podcast, the podcast where we talk about
Everything Theater. Well, hi there, everybody. I'm Benita Zahn.
And I am Ellen Cribbs.
And girl, it's been too long. You know, life got busy with both of us and theater and shows and...
There's so much going on, which is so exciting. And I got to say, this morning I had a meeting for the Craft Festival in June, and it's just a reminder of how much thriving theater there is in this area. It's amazing how much. And just, you know, every weekend, it's like there's so much to see, and
Right?
you can't see it all.
I was just down at the Bridge Street Theater to see Polishing Shakespeare with the most fabulous Yvonne Perry was in that. It's a three-person, it's done now. And unfortunately, the run was just too short. But if you haven't made the trip down to Catskill, I highly recommend that you do. It's an intimate theater. The productions, everything they do there is simply spot on. And there's a new little brew pub up the street in case you need a little bite. It's getting some good reviews. I ran into Tony Pallone, another local performer who had dined there to give us the scoop. But really, really great stuff. And Ellen, you've got some things opening up soon.
I do, yeah. I'm Curtain Call Theater starting on what day is it? May 8th. May 8th. We open with Things I Know to Be True and run through the whole month of May pretty much. And then immediately close on a Sunday, and that Friday start rehearsals for Oklahoma at Playhouse Stage. So it's a very, very exciting turnaround.
And I won't be able to take part in Craft because I'm reprising my role in Sheer Madness over at the Majestic Theater in West Springfield. It's a short run, and I think, you know, we were met with such great notices and there was such an interest. But over in, if you know the neck of the woods, the Big E, the Exposition plays at that time, and there are a lot of folks who just didn't want to deal with the traffic. So we got booked back in, and so much else going on. So we're going to always squeeze it in. In the meantime, we've been making McCauley Cannizzo sit on the sidelines. You're looking at her going, so when do we hear from McCauley? We're going to hear a lot from McCauley because first of all, it's great to have you with us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And you are now the new executive director of the Albany Barn. Woot, woot.
Yeah, so Albany Barn Inc.
You're not new to it. You had a position there before, and now you're stepping into you're the big cheese.
Yep. I've been with Albany Barn Inc. for about 4 years now, because Albany Barn Inc. has 3 locations. They have Albany Barn, Electric City Barn, and then Artistry Studios. I'll be taking over after Casey Palomane, which you all are very familiar with, I'm sure, because of her theater company. So we're very excited for her to be moving on to like something very exciting for her as well.
So as you look, you know, the barn its beginnings were unique. It really didn't start per se as a theater venue.
No, not necessarily.
It was originally known as Rock to Rebuild.
Yes.
A grassroots production company, Jeff Merrill, founded that back in 2004 after the tsunami in South Asia, and then partnered with the Albany Housing Authority and the city of Albany to redevelop the former St. Joseph's Academy into where you are, you know, low cost live, work residences and creative arts spaces, an incubator space called the
Yeah,
Barn.
totally. Yep, you got it right.
And from there, boom.
Yes, oh my goodness, we've had a busy, especially the last couple years. After the pandemic, we've been really able to grow our membership at Electric City Barn, which is a makerspace. And so that has co-working in makerspace. It has like a metal shop and a print shop and a wood shop, all these spaces artists can use. And then we opened artistry studios only in the last year and a half or so. And that is our third location. It's located in Schenectady. It's also artist residencies and individual work studios. And that's in an old convent building. So we do love to take an old building, kind of has some history, and do something really cool and creative with it.
Are you doing theatrical productions in all three sites or only in the Albany site at this point?
So an Albany Barn is our only performance space. Electric City Barn hosts a lot of rehearsals, actually. So there's a lot of performing arts that happens in that space, but it's all rehearsal space. Because it is a maker space and there's members coming and going, there could be a saw going off or someone sewing up in the fiber arts. So we kind of paired it back to rehearsal, but it's been nice because we've seen artists go from one space to the other depending on their needs. So Albany Barn is the only performance space for theater.
So when you interviewed and you told them what? What was your vision for this wonderful trio of facilities and nurturing spaces?
Oh, I love that question. Thank you for asking that. So I have been with Albany Barn Inc., like I said, a couple years now, and I've grown to know so many of our artists and so many of our communities and our neighbors and um, all these awesome people, right? And we always get siloed. People don't realize that one building's related to the other. People don't realize that the staff work in all those buildings. People don't realize it's the same board of directors. So my big vision is to start telling people as much as I possibly can that we're all connected and that we're all doing this awesome mission on bringing artists and supporting artists and entrepreneurs, and that helps develop, right, a creative economy in the communities that we serve. Just different modes, right? Each building kind of has its own thing. It works well for what it needs to work in those spaces, but it's all the same focus. Like we all care about these cool creative people, and we want to support them. So the vision for me was, oh my gosh, I'm just going to tell everybody as much as I can that they know that, yes, there's 4 staff operating 3 buildings with one awesome group of board of directors, and there's over 150 artists we see in our spaces almost daily because there's members, there's artists in residence, and then that's not it, right? Because the artists in our spaces are doing their cool creative thing, and then there's performances, right? And so those attendees are now coming in to support the arts and see it. So I just want to expand the idea that these awesome individuals are affecting such a larger there's larger influence there in the creative world. So it's touching the artist supporters, it's touching the art lovers out there, and hopefully that's causing a positive kind of ripple effect, right? Where you're starting to see all these awesome other creative things happening in the community.
Now, your typical theater, if you're thinking about a theater company who has a space, a lot of thought goes into what is a well-rounded season and how can we get people to subscribe to this season. And that's obviously very different from the barn that brings in all these different artists with all sorts of different things they do. So can you speak a little bit in terms of how you manage that, how you promote that, and how you build a community around all these artists coming in and out?
Oh, totally. Oh my goodness. So, some of it is managing a really chaotic and awesome schedule, right? The calendar is our lives in a sense. We have an internal calendar that shows so many different things for different buildings and spaces. And then the outside on our websites, there's calendars with all these different things happening. We also love a good newsletter, right? And we try not to flood people's emails. I've worked in marketing for a long time before I ended up at the barn, and I hated the daily newsletter. Oh my goodness, why do I have to get this? I didn't hit subscribe on these messages about all these things, right? So we try to be really intentional where there's either 1 or 2 maybe newsletters a month, and it's like, this is what's happening everywhere. So you can find the calendar for what's happening at the Albany Barn. You can see what's coming up in the galleries or what's going on the stages. And then that way, because you were just saying this when we were in the intro. There's so many things to see, right? There's stuff happening, especially right now in upstate New York. The weather's starting to be nice. So now there's lots of things happening all the time, and people have to make decisions. So we try to be intentional about upfront saying, this is what's happening. We hope to see you there. Like, we want you to come support us. So externally, we try to do a lot of that. Our social media has really grown in the last couple of years. Really, we have a really awesome staff member that loves Instagram and puts a lot of thought into those reels and connecting with artists directly for them. And then internally, we try really hard to have all the artists get to know each other from even all the buildings. The capital region isn't massive, but it's also not tiny. So we want to make sure that the artists feel comfortable with each other. If they're out and about at another gallery or at another show, they go, wait, you're a member at the barn? Me too. Like, we want that kind of internal community to happen. So there's lots of ways that we do internal newsletters, internal kind of like mixers, things like that. Just even long like email chains where it's like, good job, these are the things happening, like good news, right? People are used to it now by me, but if you're in the building with me and I know you have something in common with someone else in the building, I will like grab your arm and we'll go walk. Like, I will introduce you to that person. Some people don't love small talk, so it's a lot easier for me to go, this is what you have in common. This is why I think you'll like hit it off. And then like I just leave. If people don't want that to happen, tell me up front. I won't put anybody in a comfort zone they don't want to be in. But I think it's a lot easier if someone did that for me. So I try to do that for others as well.
Talk to us about membership.
Yeah, totally. So we have kind of 2 to 3 potential membership levels. And so this was my background at where I have had the position in Albany Barn because I was the director of membership and operations. I'm still technically that title. I become effective executive director in May. So I'm kind of doing like a little underground training right now with Casey. So membership there's a general membership, which is just an annual fee, and that can be a supporter level, right? You just kind of want to support what we're doing. It starts at $60 a year. It actually slides on a sliding scale depending on your annual income so that we can be more accessible and flexible for creative people out there that want to support. That gets you a lot of awesome benefits, like you get special invites to things, you get special discounts to classes and workshops and events, you get discounts on space rentals. So if you do want to host like a theater show or a performance, or if you want to host a workshop in our space, you get a discount if you're a member at that level. We also only try to hire our artists. So if we receive inquiries from organizations that want a mural or want a class taught or want to bring someone in to speak, we'll look in our membership list or our artists in residence list, and those are the people that we'll be hiring. And then after that, there's actually a co-working plus membership level, which is a monthly membership level, and that's at Electric City Barn. That's our maker space. So depending on your needs there, you can kind of pick and choose what you need, is how your membership level will kind of shake up.
What to choose from? Yeah.
And you
Yeah,
said
yeah. Oh, there's a lot going on usually.
and you said makerspace a couple times. So what exactly, like, what's the most popular thing that happens in that space?
Oh, the most popular thing. So, collaboration, I'll start with, because the space itself, Electric City Barn, was an old Catholic school. And so the stage is original. And the stage has multi-purpose. It has a photography setup on it, people rehearse on it. And that's just in the main space. And then there's these specialty studios that pop off of it. So there's the wood shop, there's a metal shop, there's a print shop, there's fiber arts upstairs, podcasting studio, as well as a media lab. Our most popular specialty studio is our wood shop, especially because you might have a couple tools at home, but maybe you need something more like well-versed or more like variety in your tools so you can pop around. So people come in to use it then. But I think collaboration happens the most because of all those spaces individually. You can see an artist walk from one space to the other and ask a question, or an artist goes, oh, I usually just do fabric, but I want to do jewelry now. And all of a sudden they're like asking for advice or asking for shared knowledge. So that happens the most often there.
Are there apartments?
For Electric City Barn, there are apartments above it, but they aren't connected, similar to the Academy Loft setup.
So you don't have to be a member. It's a separate and distinct business.
It is.
These are interesting times in the arts. How's that for an understatement?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Talk to us a little bit about your concerns and fundraising and sustainability.
Totally. I actually had someone just point this out to me that I came on to staff at um Electric City Barn at the middle of 2021. So it was still kind of that we were just coming out of the pandemic kind of question mark. And now I am going into these other questionable times. Um, so safe to say I'm not unaware of it. And I don't want to say I'm used to it because every day is new right now. So my immediate goal that probably answers any concerns is that um, I want artists to have a comfortable space to be able to work and do their creative thing, right? Because if they can express themselves, it does really affect everyone around them, right? They get to communicate what they want to say, they get to show what they're feeling, and then maybe someone who has never thought that or has ever considered that sees that and connects with them. So I want to build those connections through art in a sense. And it's it answers the idea of what a concern is that I don't want anyone to feel alone in these times because community is so important every day, but right now I think it is tremendously important. And your micro communities, right? So the artists in our membership and our artists in resident is like a micro community, and then it's in our neighborhood, and then it's the capital region, and it just kind of grows from there. So I think community is really important for us right now. Fundraising is a huge question mark always. Right now, I think there's a lot of question marks around it. Grants have always been tough, but grants are just going to continue to be tougher. There's going to be more people applying for them. There's going to be less funds available. So individual donors or individual foundations are going to become more important, I think, all across the arts as well as nonprofits in general. That's something that we've really worked hard, and Casey specifically the last couple years has done such a good job of making those individual relationships with donors. And we just want to grow that. I think our board is super responsive to what's happening. Like the major goal is how do we diversify our revenue so that we're not just leaning on one of these things, because if we're leaning completely on grants, they might not come back, or if we're leaning completely on donors, they might not come back. So we're looking at different earned revenue sources as well. But the board is up for the challenge, which is awesome. Like that was a conversation I had in my interview. I looked at them, I said, so we're in for it. How are we gonna do it? And they were great. They were really passionate about that, and they understood where I was coming from as well.
Casey said that you have to be a little bit, she's Casey Poloman, the former executive, the one you're replacing. And she's,
Yeah.
those in the theater community know how steeped she is in this community. So you have to be a little bit of a dreamer in
Hmm.
order to have this job.
Yeah.
So while Ellen and I can't give you fairy dust to sprinkle on the dreams, what are some of the dreams you have for the barn?
Ooh. Um, it sounds bad, but I definitely think I am like a dreamer in like the most realistic way ever. Um, because my dreams, of course, start with financial sustainability for our organization, right? We do not want to be worrying about where that money comes from to be able to support artists. If that can be sustainable, then yes, let's dream as much as we want to dream. Let's add as many spaces as we can. Let's add as many artists into our orbit as we can. How do we get involved with all these other organizations out there? But again, I kind of come back to that. We're 4 staff members, doing it all, right? So I would love to see us collaborate with as many groups as possible. Like that makes me so happy when I can hear an organization, whether it's private, nonprofit, creative, not creative, whatever, and they come to us and they're like, we want to do this weird thing. We're like, yeah, Like, let's do the weird thing together. Like, I love that because it's giving me an opportunity, one, to maybe solve a question that they have or solve a problem they have. But also it gives me an opportunity to build that relationship and then get creative in arts and maker stuff to people that might not be used to it. So I think that's really cool. Yeah, I want to start with just with so many like collaborations and so many cool and weird ways, and like let's bring different types of art to all over and bring it into the communities that we serve as well as outside of them. And then from there, who knows, right? We opened a third building in the last year and a half, which honestly, that opportunity came to us through a board member, and it was like this board member knows of a convent building, and in their weird rooms, right? That's where the nuns used to live. So there's these individual little rooms. There's one bathroom per floor. So the property manager was like, I can't really make it housing. It would be a lot of work to do that. Want to do something? We're like, us? Yeah, sure. You know what? These are perfect for studios. Like we've already done studios in Albany. Let's do studios in Schenectady. And it's really made this awesome kind of pipeline for artists. So now that they can dream as well, right? Because I might be a big dreamer in the sense of let me talk to everybody. Let's do all these cool things. Let's get our artists paid. Let's open spaces. But I want the artists to dream too.
Are there any specific projects or collaborations that you just thought were like really unique that you didn't see coming that like you hold on to that came out of this collaborative nature of the barn?
Oh my gosh, yes, so recently, this one well, two. One is kind of a plug because I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't plug something we're doing coming up. And that's actually, we're doing a fundraiser, next, oh my gosh, it's Sunday. So coming up, May 2nd. It's called Menly. It's a new type of fundraiser to us because it is free and open, open studios and exhibition from 5 to 7. And then from 7 to 9, we're actually doing a murder mystery dinner theater. And that is actually with Casey's group, Creative License. And so that happened because we found out all this news of her changing her kind of like life focus. And Creative License had one of their first shows at Albany Barn. So it's kind of brought us in like this very beautiful and bittersweet kind of circle. And so that collaboration was not something we expected because we had looked at a lot of different fundraising opportunities and different ideas. And this was one that we had never considered, a murder mystery dinner theater. But Casey and her group are willing to come out and hang out with us and put on a show. So that should be fun. Tickets are still on sale. People want to check them out. Um, and then the other one is actually quite recent as well. It's called the Houses of Joy. And it's with the Albany Parking Authority. And so on our social media, we've started to do kind of little snippets or little hints to what it is. The official first event will happen in May, but what they are kind of like the lending libraries that you see or the free little libraries, but they're all kind of arts focused. And so we were able to work with Albany Parking Authority that will be installing them on their properties, and they'll be focused on like one is mugs and one's toys and seeds and art and stickers. And we were able to hire the artists to paint the actual houses, and then they're actually working with artists to fill the houses. And we're hoping it lives on past just that little event. We're hoping other people will put stickers in it and take stickers. So it's kind of taking that library option, but out there, but with cool art things.
Great.
Yeah, so we're hoping more of those pop up, I'll be honest. That would be nice because there's only 5 that we've been able to start with, and we're like, let's start with a small number. Let's not jump into this too quickly. And I would love to see that grow even around the capital region as more of these kind of little sharing houses of joy, and the joys are different types of joy.
Are there some collaborations with specific groups that you're looking at doing, some that perhaps you've earmarked to make entreaties to in the next 2, 4, 6, 12 months?
Oh, I don't have specific names, but something we tried this past year or the year before, and I would love to expand on, is we actually worked with some of our artists to make creative art kits. And so the kits were inspired by artists, and they were able to write the instructions or record a video. They were able to tell us what to order. And then we actually worked with two different healthcare companies, and they purchased the kits to be able to use at their events. And so they either did a kit sign up form, or they brought them to the public and were like, here's a kit. So it was kind of their giveaway item instead of ordering all sorts of merch or ordering lots of something. They actually went through us and were able to support us, and we supported the artists. So I love that idea because that idea of like an art kit could be so vague, right? It could be anything. And since we're talking about everything theater, like it could go to the idea of like making theater masks. It could go so huge and so many ideas. And then, oh, well, now you have an art kit to do this. Oh, I can recreate this at home now, right? So it's kind of the idea of like you start with this little box. They were small boxes of whatever the project was, and it could grow so much larger than it like you could even imagine. And connecting with healthcare groups, I think, is a great idea because they are tabling at different places. You see them talking all the different, kind of like I've seen people set up at different fairs, and you see them at like markets, and like for them to be able to offer like a creative idea or a creative option is kind of awesome. See, I love that you're shaking your head. Yeah, I feel like I just keep telling you all the crazy things we've done so far.
Sounds great. You know, Ellen's got two littles. So
Aw.
anything in the pipe for kids.
Oh yeah, so I believe it's July this summer. They're coming back again. We're so excited. Footloose Theater Program is doing a summer theater camp, and so they did this last year, and it was so cute because it was Charlie Brown theme, I believe. And so you would hear the different kind of songs or the different kind of rehearsals happen. I don't know how old the littles are, but the Footloose Theater summer camp is 8 to 18, and that is happening this summer, again at Albany Barn, which we're very excited about. And then at Electric City Barn, I mentioned the rehearsals that happen. There's actually two groups that host both free types of performing art rehearsals. You just sign up with them. One is called My Daughters and Me, My Sons and Me. They actually do singing, dancing, and drumming, and some acting. And then New York Folklore Society hosts Pan-African Youth Orchestra free lessons. So you can just like pop in with your student. And a lot of this is actually like you can check it out on the calendars online. Some of them are pop-in, some of them you just sign up ahead of time. Most of them are free, some of them are low cost. So even if our spaces aren't necessarily like, you're not having like a 7-year-old have their own studio, right? Or have like being in our wood shop. But we have all these awesome artists and makers and members that are supporting youth and kids out there.
That was so much exciting stuff. This is amazing. So for everyone to know, so if they don't have the only monthly newsletter, where can they get all the information?
So there's a couple different options. There is our website, so you can just go to albanybarn.org, or you can go to Electric City Barn's website, which is ecb.albanybarn.org. Both of those have calendars, which list all these events and programs I've mentioned. They also, you can follow us on social media. You can get a lot of information that way as well. The newsletter, if you do want to sign up, you can just go to albanybarn.org/newsletter, and you'll be able to sign up there. We also, some of us still love paper stuff. So at our buildings, we do have community boards hung up as well as some flyers.
Wow. Yeah, so much exciting stuff. As we said, yeah, there's so much to see and do, and what a myriad of things just at the Albany Barn. This has
Oh my
been,
gosh, yes.
yeah.
I had no
I
idea
was like,
about all the locations either. To me, the
Neither
Albany
did
was
I.
always Albany.
oh my gosh. Oh, well, I'm so happy I'm already starting my goal. I get to tell you all about our spaces. I also heard you mention craft. I was like, there was a craft fundraiser at Albany Barn this past week. I was like, yeah. And Patrick
Shakespeare.
White had yeah, I was like, yep, Patrick White has a scene night coming up in June too. So I'm hoping I get to meet you all in person too.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, that was a good time. I couldn't stay, but I was there for the beginning of the Shakespeare's birthday party
Yes.
fundraiser, and it was a good time. Excellent. Well, McCauley, thank you so much for this wonderful wealth of information. And for all our listeners, please go check out all these wonderful offerings from the Albany Barn.
Much to do, and so
So,
many places. So you've got no excuse. You can't say, well, it's a Schenectady or an Albany thing. It's a capital region thing.
yep,
It is.
exactly.
All best, Macaulay. Keep us posted.
Thank you all so much. I appreciate this.
And for our listeners, thank you so much, and we'll catch you next time. I'm Ellen.
And I'm Benita. Take care.
Thank you so much for listening to the Everything Theater podcast. Special thanks goes out to Alice Grinling for our photography and Justin Friello for composing our amazing theme song. Please remember to subscribe to our podcast and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you want to share your thoughts or what's going on in your theater community, you can reach out to us on social media or through our email at everythingtheaterpodcast@gmail.com. Till next time, it's everything, everything.